Planking?
You'll get it when you see the launch video.
Okay.
Do you remember planking
Oh, yeah.
from 2012?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Parkour. Okay, well, welcome to the Next Boots from Start to Finish podcast. I'm your host, Schuyler Mao, joined by Lucas Grassberger. Got Andrew Garcia on the ones and twos. We are here today to talk about a new last we've developed. It is the Thurman-ZD, standing for zero drop. I expect this to be a little controversial. We have like a full, we just don't have the version because we sent it out for testing, but you can see if you're watching the video, this is with a unit lug, but you can also get it like with a truly flat sole for kind of that true zero drop look. We're always looking to expand the customer base, and there is a section of the population that likes these boots a lot. We kind of did it. I mean, we worked on it quite a bit, but like, when the final version came off, I was just blown away by like how great they look. Yeah.
I was probably the biggest naysayer.
Yeah, you're Dr. No.
Yeah,
I like to say.
Yeah.
He says no to everything.
I try. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the blame.
It's okay. Somebody's got to be.
I'm
the
a
no
skeptic.
Guy. So, yeah.
You're the optimist. I'm the skeptic.
Yeah.
And then we figure it out.
Well, wouldn't you rather it be that way?
Yeah.
Because I remember you tell me stories of when you worked for Mickey's down in California.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let you do anything.
Oh yeah.
And I'm the opposite.
But no, this was an interesting project. I mean, I feel like we've thrown around the idea, or you've thrown around the idea. People have thrown around the idea of zero drop lasts in our boots for a while. And at first, I feel like we tried to simulate a lot of what is already on the market, and we decided it's not us. We'd have to change too much of our identity, the DNA of our boots, for that like super flexible. It'd have to be super thin. I feel like we found a really good spot where it's that nice zero drop last, gives you that stability, the balance, but it's still that P&W boot that you know.
Yeah, there's nothing really like this. So obviously we took apart the competition, if you will, to look at it. And we were like, they're fine, but they're not up to our quality standards, and just kind of the material composition. And we're like, hey, we could make a better version of this. Now it's not, some parts of like this space are all about ultimate flexibility, and this is more of a structured approach to that boot. I think it's interesting. So it's like, depending on how you're looking at it, it gives you more contact with the ground, especially with the thinner, like true zero drop.
Yeah.
Like you can feel what you're stepping on, maybe, like one of our testers, I thought this was kind of funny. It was like, I'm not stepping on anything accidentally. Like, because sometimes with a lug, you're like, freaking Godzilla out there, and you're like, I just crushed a walnut, and like barely felt it. Yeah. Whereas with this one, you definitely have a little more feel for what's going on underneath your feet, which for some people is bad. But I think for quite a few people, they'll appreciate that feeling. And, I'm curious to see, because this is really not targeted necessarily at like our existing customer base. We're always trying to grow. So like, hopefully this appeals to some people that might not have otherwise considered us before.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's definitely people out there who have tried one or multiple of our different last options, 55, 67, or even just like the H&W Modern Arch. And I've heard people say even the H&W Modern Arch feels like a little more arch than they would like. Yep. Everyone has their personal preferences. So I know there are customers or potential customers out there who have been following us, really like everything about our boots except for the profile it's built on.
Yep.
So this gives us a little bit more options.
This is a sizable subsegment in the market, and this is kind of our approach, right? In a lot of ways, obviously we try to innovate, but also we basically look at like what are some of the options that are out there. Can we build a more durable, more robust construction, more robust materials version of that? And if the answer is yes, within reason, we're like, okay, let's give this a shot. And I think that's what you're seeing here.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting too, because it opens us up to a lot more options in terms of soles and things like that. There's a lot of options out on the market that Vibram makes, other manufacturers make, that don't have enough of that heel lift to go on even the H&W last.
Yeah.
That now we can maybe toy around with for the zero drop.
Yeah, I hope this does okay. I think because to your point, it does kind of open up another section of options for us. We've got, it's a zero drop last, and so if you want a true zero drop, you would get some certain soles, the Kletterlift, for example,
or the Voyageur. Those are the two main ones,
which is a basically lower profile lug pattern. But if you're like in between and you don't want arch within the boot, but you want a little bit of variance in the heel height, you can get a unit lug. I think we're even talking, I think we might even offer these with wedges. So, like we do, you'll have a lot of options here. So we'll have, like, this is the standard Strider configuration. The Strider boot will be the kind of headliner, if you will. And then you'll have a, design your own page as well that you can option. So one thing that's different about how we're approaching this is we're going to offer people the option on getting it stitched through or not. And the reason for that, and you'd be like, well, of course I want it stitched through. And well, so yes, with the stitched through, you get, obviously that increased mechanical bond between the bottom of, the sole and the midsole. But these soles, they will be easier to resole, whether you're doing it like here or with a local cobbler or something like that, if it's not stitched through. And so we're going to offer that capability so that you can get it with, it's just with glue. We do have many soles that are just glued. If you're thinking maybe you're going to want to mix and match it, or you want to change or try something out or have something else in mind, that will be a possibility as well.
Right. Yeah, a good 90-95% of the boots we offer, the sole construction is sole, heel stack, heel cap. So it's a lot of pieces nailed together, screwed together, stitched together. So the resoling process is a little more complicated, whereas most of the soles we're offering on these, all of the soles really, except for like wedges, are a single piece of rubber. So like you were saying, if it's not stitched through,
and this would not apply to wedges, obviously, but anything that can be stitched through would be stitched through.
And if it's not stitched through and it starts to wear out or whatever, we can repair it easier. Your local cobbler can repair it easier. You just peel that top layer off, glue a new one on. And like I was just saying, there's a lot of options from Vibram and other manufacturers in terms of soles that kind of fit the same profile. So you can really try a lot of different things out. I know we've played around with some other ones. I think there's like the new Porter sole, things like that we've tested here and there that I could see us eventually bringing in as options. But the point being, you can easily resole it and make it how you want.
And also lower price. It's sorry, not that the boot is actually priced a little less expensively because there's not a heel stack to put on there and everything. But the resole will be a lower price as well if you don't get it stitched through. So that's another factor to consider.
I think one other unique thing to point out about this boot is it is a 360 stitch with leather components. Whereas most of our 365 stitch down, it's all rubber for water resistance. This is a leather insole, leather midsole, so it's still going to form to your foot. But it's that 360 stitch down, which means it's going to be a little bit lighter weight because there's no nails. So it's a kind of a new construction style.
Yeah, it's a little different for us. Like another thing that I think if you do get the stitch through, we will still do the 360 stitch in one row, and then you would get one row of stitching in a 270 degree stitch, which is also kind of a different approach for us as well. So I don't know. I think these boots look really good. I especially love the look of the true zero drop. And I may have to try this. I don't know. It's on the Thurman-Last, so it's got it's got that nice wide toe box. So you do have that kind of anatomical foot shape. Get some good toe splay in there, but also the structure that comes with our boots are hefty midsole, long-lasting midsole, thick leather. You know, so we're trying to blend both worlds together, and we'll see. You know, I hope people like it because it everyone who's worn it really likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure next thing to come for the zero drop is a hiking style boot. This can definitely be used for hiking, but I think we'll launch something close to kind of the ridgeline.
Yeah, a little padded collar.
Yeah, exactly. I could see this being really interesting for that application.
Yeah.
Like if you go hiking on, tougher trails where you're doing a little bit more climbing, things like that. I know I typically wear my Nicks, but sometimes that heavy stack up can be hard when you're walking on rocks and things where you have to be a little more sure-footed.
Yeah.
So that zero drop could be really interesting.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is, so we'll also offer this with the Sierra bottom portion. Yeah. So the Sierra is two materials glued together, right? Yeah. It's the dual density. We would not be using the foam. We would just be using the lower rubber portion.
Correct.
And the cool thing about that is we have that in sand, like a sand color, as well as the black.
Yep.
And so you can get basically what looks like a honey Vibram look, like on the bottom there, which is cool.
You bring up a point. With this, we are also offering Honey Vibram Unit Lugs, which is new to our catalog as well.
Yep. Honey Vibram Unit Lugs, and so it's kind of weird. This is actually kind of a big deal. Like it opens up a lot of different possibilities for us. And in a roundabout way, like we were like, well, in order to do this, we kind of have to do this. In order to do this, we have to do this. And so that was kind of the reasoning behind this. And so if we do the zero drop this way, it does kind of open up a lot of other possibilities for us. Yeah. And it will be, this is, $495, I think is what this is priced at. Yeah. So a little less than our normal kind of starting price. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to cover?
I'm honestly just excited to see what people spec out. Like that's always the fun thing with new launches like this, where it opens up a whole new doorway, where people get into the build your own and they start building out their ideal, zero drop boot or pull on boot, whatever we came out with. I'm excited to see those come through the line.
Will this be available in heritage leathers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think there's a number of different options we'll have to open up. It's funny, I'm looking at these right now and I'm immediately thinking HD construction, notched upper for more flexibility. Yeah. Fits well with the zero drop.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll roll that out with a hiking boot version.
I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Yeah. Andrew, do you have any questions on the zero drop boot?
No. I like the completely flat one.
Yeah, it's a good profile, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the accident with the leather.
Oh. Yeah. Hey, it was intentional. It definitely was not an accident with writing up the order of
So Lucas screwed up the bomb and he put rough over smooth instead of smooth over rough out. So that's actually kind of an interesting new option.
Happy accident. Now you can order any boot that has rough out options as rough out over smooth.
And it actually looks really good.
It does. It's nice. It's funny. This one is the one that I wrote up correctly, smooth over rough out. The other two that we did for photos, both are rough out.
But yeah, you'll be able to see it on the product page.
It looks good.
Kind of the main one. It looks really good. Yeah, so lots of new things coming with this guy, and really appreciate your time. Thank you for being a customer, and or for listening to the show. If you're not a customer, we hope you will be soon. We appreciate you. For Lucas, Andrew, and Schuyler, talk to you later.